Please hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon for the future notification to watch more videos of latest fashions and trends. Thank you so much for your love and support. Hello friends, welcome back to Amazing Men's Wear. In this video, I'll show you the fitted 16 paneled anarkali lehenga with only 2.5 meters of fabric. I'm going to use raw silk of 2.5 meters and the lining with the polyester of 2.5 meters. And this is the full length chart of 40 inches, which is not sufficient, so I have stick a portion of chart underneath. And this is of 2 charts. A small calculation is required to prepare this lehenga. Here I am showing for the 16 paneled lehenga, but watching this video you can create for any age groups with any number of panels. I am preparing this for the age of 10. First of all, we would require the waist length. Measure the waist round. Here I am taking 24 inches and adding 2 inches for the ease for the easy draping, and measure the hip length, which is of hip round. Here 27 inches and adding 2 inches for the ease. And we require the total length. This has to be measured from the waist to the floor length. So the total length I am taking is of 36 inches. 2 inches is more than sufficient because it's the fitted lehenga, and for the comfortable wearing I am going to add 2 inches for the hip length and the waist length. Now with the revised measurements of the waist length 26 inches and the hip length of 29 inches, and from the total length we have to subtract 1 inch, which will add the belt separately, and 2 inches add for the seam allowance on either sides lengthwise for the lehenga. As I said, I would be preparing for 16 panels, so the waist length should be divided by 16. So here for the each panel I got 1.62 inches. It's so simple. The waist length should be divided by number of panels. It could be 8, 12, 16, 24, whatever it is. That waist length should be divided by that number of panels. The same way we have to divide the hip length with the number of panels. 29 divided by 16 is 1.82 inches. This is for the each panel hip length. As I said, subtract 1 inch for the belt, and now it's 35 inches. 2 inch add for the seam allowance. Now it's 37 inches. So using these 3 measurements we have to draft the pattern. The chart length which we have to take greater than this total length. So I took approximately 40 inches in lengthwise for the panel preparing. Now let's see how we construct the draft. Measure the total length and mark on 37 inches. This is the required total length. Now from the waistline, mark it on 5 inches. Here is the hip line. As I said, I would be preparing for the age of 10. So below ages 10 we have to mark it on 5. And if it's above 15, we have to mark it on 6 inches for the hip line. As the chart is on folds, I'd be taking half of the measurements. The waist length for each panel is 1.62 and half of that is 0.8. So mark it on 0.8 and half an inch for the seam allowance. And now we'll mark for the hip length. Hip length is 1.82 and half of that is 0.9. And add half an inch for the seam allowance. For the flare of the lehenga, for each panel I'd be taking 8 inches, half of that is 4 inches and half an inch for the seam allowance. If you want to increase the panel width, you have to take more fabric of 3 meters and greater than that. But if you want to prepare for 8 inches, 2.5 meters is more than sufficient for preparing of 16 panel. Now join all the points from the waist to the floor length. Cut on the marked lines. Here is the 2 panels you can see here. Using this draft pattern, now we'll cut on the fabric. You can see here the fabric I have folded in 4 layers and each layer is of 25 inches. That means the total length of the fabric is 2.5 meters, which is of 100 inches. Now I'll lay the draft pattern on this fabric like this. Give the markings of this draft. Place the 2 panels like this. First mark it and then transform the draft patterns to another side. So 4 times we'll give the markings and it's on 4 layers, so total we'll get 16 panels. This is how we'll mark on the fabric efficiently without any wastage, and we'll get the full flared lehenga. So now I'm marking the draft patterns on the fabric. I'm giving numbering here. You can see 2, 3 and 4. Now I'll cut on this marked lines. Now I'm ready with the panels. Each panel will have 4 layers. You can see here. And total it's of 16 paneled lehenga. Now I'll join 4 panels only because I'll show you the designer lehenga making in my next video. Lay it right on right and join only 4 panels like this. Now I'll show you how to cut the lining. As this is fitted lehenga, we cannot go with the pleated or the gathered lining. So we have to go with the circle skirt pattern. This is of 2.5 meters fabric and it's polyester, folded into 2 layers. Hold one corner and place it diagonally. This polyester fabric, the lengthwise it will be short, so first fold it diagonally like this, overlapping it. Now the leftover should be overlapped on this triangle. See, this is the leftover. Hold the raw edge and place it on the triangle. Now on the top of the cone, we'll mark the 4th part of the waist length. As I took the waist length of 26 inches, this should be divided by 4 and the length is 6.5 inches. this we have to mark on this top of the cone. Place and mark it on 6.5 inches. Measure on both the sides. It should be of the same length. You can see here it's little greater, so I'm marking it on 8 and mark the curved shape like this. Now measure, it should be again 6.5 inches or else adjust to get 6.5 inches. Now from this marked line we would require the length of 34 inches. The main fabric length is 37 inches and the lining should be less than that, so I am taking 34 inches. Place the tape on the marked waistline and place it on 34 inches and give the markings. Now cut on this marked lines. So this is the portion we'll join with the skirt, because to the 2 layers of this skirt is not sufficient. Now we'll join this. 34 inches is the actual length and 1 inch for seam allowance, because we'll give double folding and to stitch the hem. That's why I cut on 35 inches and trimmed accordingly. I hope this drafting and cutting is clear to you now. Having any doubts, do write to me in the comment section. In my next video, I'll show you how to make the plain lehenga into designer lehenga. Please do like, share and comment. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.